Finovate showcases cutting-edge banking and financial technology through a global conference series featuring short-form demos and thought leadership. Now, the conversation continues on the Finovate podcast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Finovate podcast. We have a fun one today. We are kicking off our series of interviews with the FinovateFall Best of Show winners. These are the companies that were selected by the audience as having the best innovations on display at FinovateFall 2024, which just wrapped up at the Marriott Marquis in Midtown Manhattan. And first out of the gate, I'm chatting with Mart Voss, founder and CEO of Echo. Mart, thanks so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. A real pleasure being here and also being the first.
Yeah, well done. You're out of the first one out of the gate, so you get to set the tone a little bit. So, well, first off, congratulations on winning Best of Show. And I think for people who haven't seen your demo yet, those videos are available at finovate.com/videos. And you can kind of take a look at exactly what Mart showed on the stage there. But for people who haven't heard of you before, can you give us a quick background on yourself and what Echo's all about?
Yes. So, originally from the Netherlands. That's I make the joke quite frequently, but we said that's where the funny accent is from. By the way, not many people get it. Like we said, like 10-15% of people say, "Oh, you're Dutch." I'm like, yeah, that's good. Mainly, I get European, but that's also kind of correct, I guess. No, so yeah, originally from there. It's actually important for my story because back in the Netherlands, everybody invests their money with their bank. I know my bank. I trust my bank. So if I'm going to invest my money, I'm going to do it at the place I already know and trust. Then when it came to North America, first in Canada, for the first time, I wanted to bank somewhere. I also wanted to invest there. And they basically told me, great, Mart, yes, we do everything. We do banking, we do loans, and we do investments. And for investments, you just have to call this number. I thought, that's strange. Why do you have to call a number? But I talked to the financial advisor. I said, I have $1,000. I would like to invest. And the financial advisor said, well, just come back to me if you have 250,000. And I was like, wait, what? You're saying you're doing investments, but it turns out you're not really doing investments for everybody. You're just doing it for, let's say, the top 1%. So that's a little bit where I came from and also what the whole product is about. Making it possible for everybody to invest their money with their trusted bank or credit union instead of just, the top 1%.
Yeah, no, obviously it's a little bit of a head scratcher when someone says, I offer these services, but in order to get them, you have to call somebody else first. It sort of pulls at that thread. Maybe you don't really offer this, or maybe not to everybody. So tell me a little bit more about how the product actually works. Obviously, you're integrating with credit unions and financial institutions to help give consumers that idea that, we're keeping it completely in-house. This is the organization that I've known and banked with for a while. How are you able to kind of bring that technology into those types of FIs who I'm sure don't always have all the resources that you might think of when you're kind of imagining a big investment house?
Right. Yeah. So our value proposition is now you can offer investments to everybody without you having to build anything yourself or hire anyone. The way we do that is we natively integrate inside digital banking platforms. So imagine you log into digital banking, I have my checking, I have my savings, but now I also have my investments. And the moment I click on investments, I'm not being redirected to a third-party website. And I think that's really important. It was really important for the whole team. Because if I click on investments and I'm being redirected or I have to download a new ad, it almost feels like I click on an ad. Like, wait, what? I thought I was going to invest with my bank, not some third party. So we are white labeled, natively integrated into the digital banking platform. So we have a bunch of partnerships with big banking as a service providers, Q2, Jack Henry, Banno, Alchemy, to name a few. And that's how we can pretty turnkey get that solution to banking credit unions. But we have that conversation sometimes to say, okay, we work with them and them, like how fast we do the integration. And we would say, oh no, we are already integrated. We don't need to make an additional integration. So yeah, but being able to offer that in such a turnkey way, it's also been a big game changer, I believe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Having that integration is key. What are some of the other reasons that you think that you're able to offer these kind of services in a way that others aren't? I mean, obviously being integrated is important, but looking at some of these other places where people can invest digitally through someone like Betterment, what really sets you apart from what they're able to do, and why are you able to do something that's a little bit different from what they're able to do?
It's been our focus. It's been from day one. We wanted to build this product for financial institutions. So the way it's set up, also from a regulations point of view, you need to integrate. You need to have the right disclaimers. You need all of that. You also it's a separate group of companies. We in terms not only in terms of regulations, also in terms of its build. So I think it's really hard to build an investment product. Let's say a Betterment or a Robinhood or an Acorns, and then 3, 4, 5 years in, you say, "Oh, by the way, we also want to now start selling to financial institutions," just because it's such a completely different product. I think that's the fact that we knew from the start that we wanted to make this specific product, and also for this specific product, natively integrated. I think that really sets us apart.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's always one of those really difficult questions that I think most fintech founders have to really wrestle with at some point. Who am I going to target? Because that initial decision, so much flows from that. And obviously, to your point, it is difficult to correct course or change course later on. So let's talk a little bit about the experience at Finovate. Obviously, your demo resonated with the audience. People enjoyed what you were showing them. What type of response did you get at your booth? Were there any kind of conversations that you weren't necessarily expecting to have that ended up giving you some food for thought?
Yes. So most of them were the usual suspects, I would say. Um, the banks, the credit unions, some of our existing clients as well. But you always get these, and this is why I like Innovate as a conference, more unexpected conversations. Whether it's potential partnerships, whether it's just someone who's in this space. We had a researcher, PhD researcher from a university who said, this is something I really believe in, and would you like to give a guest lecture on the whole topic to my MBA class? And like, yes, I love talking about this, and I also love when people have been thinking about it the same way I've been thinking about it. You can have a conversation not starting from level 1 or 2 or 3. Now you can start having a conversation from level 10 because both of us have been talking or thinking about this for years. Another one that I remember well is another company that they wanted to make wanted to make giving a little easier. So basically, we started talking. How do you do that? They also integrate into banks, credit unions. But their idea was that what if you, every time people make a withdrawal in the investment account, they withdraw people from the investment account back to their bank account, we give them the option to donate 1%. And the good thing about it is that donating is a tax deductible event. So it would basically, I actually don't know if these numbers are correct, but they would basically cost them, for example, only 50 cents to donate $1 at that point. So it's just stuff like that. And, that's the first conversation. It's always really exciting to have a first conversation. Very often, it's all ideas, and then you never get to like an execution stage. But I do think that Finovate is a really good place to get to those ideas and get to those interesting people. So yeah, the diverse crowd, really cool to see.
Yeah, no, that's fun. I think, I've always enjoyed talking to the academics who come to Finovate as well. There's something fun about people who look at this, not necessarily from I want to immediately start to sell something, but from this higher level, more theoretical level, what should be the case, what's the future look like, and things like that, which is always fun to consider. And it's, I think, really useful to engage in that type of thinking with not every day, but with some regularity, just because it's so easy to get tunnel vision and get so focused on what you're working on a day in, day out basis that you can forget what these larger trends look like. So this is actually a really good lead in to the next question, which is, we're at a kind of critical moment right now when it comes to the investing landscape. And there's obviously this big consumer shift going on. There's this generational wealth transfer, which has really already started and is going to, the wave is nowhere near cresting, but it's starting to build. What do you think the future of consumer investing looks like going forward? And I guess the second part of this question would be, what do those kind of shifting consumer demographics, what are those going to do to the way that people build and kind of create tools for investors?
Yeah, it is a really exciting time. You mentioned it, the 70 trillion, whatever. It's a massive number of intergenerational wealth transfer that's happening right now. At the same time, we see now that most money is currently being managed by financial advisors. Also, at the same time, we know that if I inherit money and that money is with a financial advisor, the probability of me continuing to work with a financial advisor is 10 to 20%. So that money is not going to disappear, and people are still going to need a place to put that money. And I think that's exactly the right place and exactly the right time to do this. These financial institutions, they now, or clients, they're now recognizing this. They're seeing it happening in front of their eyes. And then what they're also seeing is this is one of the first things I ask financial institutions to look into. I say, how much money is flowing out of the bank, flowing out of the credit union to third-party investment products? And the moment they look it up, this is when their eyes open. They're like, wow, last month, 25 million. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money. And that money is not coming back. So I think and this is a battle that's going on in a way, but people have that fight for the mind share, and there's a fight for like, what is people's first investment account? What is people's trusted place? And I think that's what we're doing. We're making it possible for people to invest their money with their trusted bank, with their trusted credit union, starting from $10. So even though when people are investing $10 today, that doesn't really matter. It's just they are setting one important step to financial literacy. And they start with something that is important, and later in life is probably going to play a big role. So I think that's where we are right now. I think this is also the future, fighting for that mind space, mind share. That it's definitely an interesting time to be alive.
Yeah, no question. And I think one of the pieces that you talk about here, which is something that we've seen and explored in other areas as well, is this concept of trust, right? We know that a lot of the younger generations really value authenticity. They value feeling like they are working with an organization who understands them as a person, who shares their values. And I think this is where, there's opportunities for all types of financial services brands who are able to really prove to their customers, we understand you, we value you, we believe in the same things that you believe in. This is a really critical component, especially when looking at some of these more recent entrants into the investment ecosystem. And so this is where being able to kind of give it that one stop and say, hey, you already have a relationship with this bank. You already have a relationship with this credit union. Do you want to start an investment account? You can do it with as little as $10. Right. And to your point, you never know where that $10 is going to go. Once people start to build the habit and they start to see, actually, this is a very easy place for me to save. When I do get some extra money, I'm just going to keep throwing it into that account. We know that people don't usually switch, right? Once people establish an initial pattern, they kind of stick with it. So, these are habits that can end up becoming extremely lucrative down the road. So I think it's a lot of things that line up very nicely. And again, it's not difficult to see why what you were talking about resonated so well with the folks in our audience. So last question from my side, and it's really just kind of an open-ended one. What's next for you and Echo? Where do you go from here?
Great question. We just had a strategy session, so we've just been talking about this for 4 hours. I don't think we have 4 hours left.
Yeah, not quite.
But no. Let me give you the highlights. What is important for us is, like right now, it's just keep selling. Obviously, this is the standard answer. We're signing up for like one bank credit union every month, every other month. Continue doing that. But where we really want to be in the future is we want to become a one-stop investment shop. So we want to do self-directed like Robinhood. That's what we already are doing today. We want to do pre-made portfolios like Betterment. That's what we already do today. We do hybrid investing already. But some other things is, what about IRA, HSA? What about the whole financial advisory part? Financial advisors, they're also not going to disappear. It is great, especially if you have a lot of money. I like to talk to a person. I like to talk to a human being sometimes. That's not going to go away. But the financial advisory industry or profession is one that has not innovated at all in the last 20, 30, 40 years. When I don't work with a financial advisor. Obviously, let Eco invest my money. But from what I know, from what I've seen, is there's no digital component still to it. Financial advice is generally pretty expensive. If you want to pull your money out, you have to still first give a phone call. If you want to know how your portfolio is doing, you have to wait for like a quarterly email, or again give a phone call. I think that industry is extremely large, very ripe for disruption. And I think if we really want to be a one-stop investment shop, at one point we can tell our clients that started with $10. Maybe they started with $10 3 years ago, and now they have $150,000 in their investment account. And we can say, hey, if you want to go to the next level, if you want to go talk to a human being, do your financial planning for the next 20 years, we can also do that for you. We can also connect you to a person. You can keep your dashboard. You can keep everything that you already know and trust, like the dashboard that you've been using for years. That will not disappear. We will just give you a phone number. And now you can call someone and you can have that additional layer of trust. And it's not going to be for everybody, but that's another piece that we want to add. So again, like the one-stop investment shop, instead of now having 4 apps and another external relationship, you can do everything with your trusted bank and credit union.
Yeah, no, I think that's really ambitious. And I think you're right about a lot of the assumptions there. There's a lot of room for growth in terms of the way that the financial advisor ecosystem is moving. Certainly there's, again, a new generation of people.
I like it when you say ecosystem.
Yeah, ecosystem. There you go. We should put a little TM in there afterwards.
Yeah. Right.
But no, it's great to hear kind of the ambitions, and of course, obviously, the congratulations again. You're on the right track. I think it's fair to say, and I'm glad you're able to express everything up in front of the audience in a way that was able to really drive their understanding and have a lot of those conversations. So congrats again. Thanks for taking the time to connect with me. And again, as I mentioned at the outset, you can see the video for Mart and all of our other Best of Show winners at finovate.com/videos. Look for FinovateFall 2024, and you'll see all of them up there, including this one. So Mart, thanks again for taking the time to chat with me. It's been a real pleasure.
No, it was the pleasure was all mine, and thanks, Greg. It was great to be here, and it was great. I've been talking to you not only today. We talked quite a bit the last few weeks, and I appreciated everything.
No, it's my pleasure. Congrats again. The Finovate podcast is produced by Informa Connect in association with Provoke.fm Media. Check out Finovate.com for information on Finovate's upcoming shows and to learn how you can get involved. The discount code Finovate Podcast will save you 20% on tickets to all of our events. And you can email us at info@finovate.com for information on sponsoring, speaking, or demoing. Thanks for listening.